everyone, and welcome to the Looney Ballooney Learning Centre. As always, I am Tess, and for this video, we are going to work on our pearls together, okay? So for this, you will need 260, probably a bag of them, all right? This is Sempertex 260 in Fashion White that I will be using to show you how to master this skill. Please don't be too hard on yourself. This is not really an easy one to learn. It takes repetition. You might get it the first go, and then the next 10 times they might completely unravel on you. Always divert back to your rules, okay? And I have 5 hard, fast rules for you, okay? That we will explore throughout this video. We are going to be putting air into this 260. It is on your legenda if you have one of these amazing pumps. It's a 0.8 to fill up the right amount of air, or I'm going to be using a hand pump because I know not everyone has a legenda. It's going to be a double pump on your hand pump, okay? So we're going to put this on the nozzle. 2. Okay, tie that off. And I always tie up a little bit closer to the neck, which leaves a little bit of a void there. But then I just pop some air into it. Makes it easy. All right, so we are going to start with our 5 rules. Are you ready? We are going to size them first. Your very first one, I use my first crease on my thumb to the tip of my thumb as my measurement of what I want my pearl size to be. You're going to have to figure out what works for you. My hands are quite large for a woman, but so it might be a little bit further down your hand, or it might be a different section, or it might be your belt buckle, or something that you're going to have on you consistently when you're building, so you can always use the same reference until the muscle memory kicks in. Eventually, you'll get where you don't need to look at it. You don't need to think about it. It's just going to happen, okay? Trust me, it does take some time. The second rule is to soften your balloon, okay? You can see I can't really get that together. There's air in there. It's tight. Even though we've left all this, because we haven't fully blown it up, you don't want to fully blow it up and then take out. You want to just put that amount of air. There's strength in this balloon that will, as you're pushing, keep air where you need it to be. If you've got it completely blown up, it could be a problem, okay? It's more difficult. This is easier. So you are going to measure your first pearl, spin. Now, you are going to pick a direction to spin it in, either towards yourself or away from yourself. If you have to, put a little arrow on your table, something that's going to give you an instant indicator of which way to go. I always do towards myself. I find it a little bit easier, but it doesn't matter which way. Just pick it and stick with it. Because if you do one towards yourself and then one away from yourself, that's what's making it unravel for you, okay? Then you also need to spin. I use the number 7. I think it's the best one I've come up with. I tried to do 5 there for a while, but when you stretch them out, they're going to unwind just a little bit. The key is to have enough winds in there so it doesn't completely unravel. So if you're only doing 2 and 3 and you're, oh, they keep unraveling on me, that's going to be one of the major reasons why. So 7 spins, same direction, is going to be your best friend for these, all right? So I am then going to take my first pearl and lock it into place. I use my pinky and my ring finger to lock mine in. You can use different fingers if you want. If you want to move up here, that's fine. My reasoning for putting them further away is so that I can still have free range of all these fingers. If I have it up here, it limits your movement just a little bit. Plus, with it being down here, as we make our string of pearls, it keeps them out of your way and it starts dangling down to the side. It's a really, they can curl up on themselves and become a big ball and get difficult. So having them away from where the action's happening is to your advantage. All right, so the size, locking it into place, spin direction, and the number of spins, that's the major 4. The 5th one is going to be to never, once we're finished, never let go of your ends. You let go of one end and it goes, okay? It'll go both ends and you've got something that looks vaguely like that. All right? You don't want that. You want it to have nice and full, okay? So I'm going to start. I'm going to measure, spin 7 times towards myself, lock it in, okay? Hold that like your life depends on it, because your ballooning sanity kind of does. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna do the second one. The second one I can't really measure very well because it's in a bit of an awkward position, but once you get to that third one, it's gonna be easier. But I find after 2 pearls, this is tight again, okay? So you have to soften. And you see, I roll my hand in, and that's why holding it back here is helpful, because then I can use my hands for other things. Okay? I'm going to measure my third spin 7 times towards myself. 4th is still soft, spinning. You can see it's tightened up again. And that's what I mean. So it's pushing the air down here, and it's got to push that volume out. So that's what we're doing. See it go down? Soften, spin. Spin. And I look back occasionally to make sure I'm getting very nice consistency. Soften. Spin. Spin. So I'm just rolling my thumb, and it actually works really quite well. Okay, and soften it again. It sounds like I'm being horribly repetitious, but it's for good reason. Okay, so spin. This is one of those things that if you do it wrong, you're going to struggle. If you follow the rules, it's going to be so much easier. Sort of like with a strict mom, right? You follow the rules, your life is easier. You try and buck the system and you have a nightmare. All right, so here we go. Softening it up. Now, this did not come easy to me as well, okay? I don't want you to be down on yourself. This takes a lot of practice to get them entirely right. I would sit on the sofa with a bag of 260s next to me as we watch TV as a family at night and just practice and practice and practice and practice. And it eventually just stuck one day. It just went, oh my God. Now, I didn't have anyone showing me how to do this or explaining. I learned from a video that was sped up to be like 26 seconds, and it was like, blah, 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 no explanation. So I had to sit there and freeze it and try and figure out what they were doing. Now it's a little bit easier. There's so many amazing people out there teaching and want to help. So when you get to the end, I could probably get one more in there, but I'm not going to. What I'm going to do, maybe, okay. You have to size up the last little bit. I could force a spin there, have a couple bigger ones, but what happens when they're tight like this, and this is a really good example. See how tight that is versus here, right? It unravels very easily. Even with 7 spins, they unravel so fast. So what I do is I grab onto the very tip. I just snip it very, very small to allow the controlled release of that last little bit of air. Tie it off, okay? Then hanging on to those 2, don't let them go or all your work's gonna be gone, all right? I transfer them over so I can use my scissors, cut off those ends. We wanna clean up our mechanics. Don't leave those on there. Then we're gonna use our Gemar brand glue dashes. I love these the best. We're gonna put a glue dash on each end, okay? Take the covering off. And I'm gonna bring in here a tabletop that I've done. And if you're interested in learning how to make this, the tutorial is available for purchase on our website. All right, so I'm gonna take one of my ends and put it right on. Make sure your glue sticks before you release your hand. This glue has like a 20-second cure out, so just hold it for a second so it stays. Then I'm gonna come over here and put my other one where I want it to go. Okay, so it's on there, but I'm going to clean it up a little bit by putting a couple more glue dashes and put it down. Yes, I messed up and I had to cut off a previous version of this video. So there's little scraps on there, but don't worry about that. That's how life goes sometimes, right? Just make sure your next set of glue goes right on top of the old ones. Okay. And now I'm just putting a couple extra glue dashes along the strand so it's not all too wobbly out there. And there we go. The pearls are attached. You can see once I get the glue on there on each end, this is not unraveling. There's no glue there, but it's not coming undone. All right, so that's the pearls. Remember, size. Lock it in, the number of spins, the spin direction, and hold on to those ends for until you get the glue on there, okay? Like your life depends on it. But it really adds a luxurious, classy look to your designs. They don't really serve a purpose structurally, but they're really cute decoration. So I hope this helps you and that we can add this into your toolbox as you follow your journey of ballooning it yourself. Take care.